EDL, how we doing? DZ, how we doing?
Oh, great, Nate.
Fresh off of the first game of the NBA Finals. Good first game. The fresh off the presidential debate, the MLB playoffs. I couldn't tell you anything about the MLB playoffs. And also off of another good NFL week, the double header week, if we're talking about the EDL. A lot of games to talk about today, DZ. And then we're going to be previewing week 4, which is our last week before bye weeks kick in. I think week 5 is the first week of bye weeks. As we saw in the headlines today, we do have our first potential COVID issue. Proceed with caution. I have Deontay Johnson, and we're going to have to see when it gets closer what's going on. I'll have to make a change or not, depending on how I feel about that matchup. So make sure you're prepared in case they do cancel it. Possibly, you might not want to start anyone on the Titans or Steelers, depending on how it sounds like it's going to go down on Sunday. House cleaning stuff, DZ. Everything is good. I've been doing well. I've been staying on top of it. All the penalties are in for everyone that they've done so far. I guess I just put through blind bidding. I haven't. There's only one person or one blind bidding ad. I have not gone through and done the money for that and then the penalty for that. Everything else, everyone's contracts are in, contract details, all the ads, all the blind bidding, blah, 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 blah. Everyone's roster should be correct. Let me know if they're not. Make sure, just another side note, reminder that the final time you can pick someone up off first come, first serve is midnight on Saturday night. You cannot pick up someone Sunday morning. If you do and they are put in your lineup, unfortunately, the points will be taken out. The person will be taken out because they are not eligible. So make sure you're on top of all your pickups and do them before Sunday morning. Let's just take a look at week 3. Let's jump into it. I know Survivor claimed another soul. One less person. Robbie, where is it at? Down here a little ways. Went down on Arizona. I did the same exact thing on my other Survivor. There's one where you get 2 picks, so I'm still in that one, but the one big one, I'm down in. I don't know. Tito is in the same one. I don't know if he's still alive. Survivor claimed another one. Put this last year. There's a 3-way split for first between Jerome, Robbie, and Edwards. The last time we had a single person winner in Survivor was the year before that, 2018. That was Seward. And before that was another 2-way split between Casey and Cameron. So we got, if there's one place we have parity, DZ, it's the Survivor pool. Because we got Rupp, we got Robbie, and no, Robbie's out. We got Rupp, where am I looking? Casey and Birdman. And the Survivor left, so we'll see if one of them, how long they keep going. Where is Confidence? Let's take a look at Confidence. Pete moved up into first. If I remember right, Robbie dropped down. I think Robbie was in first. Pete was in second. And then, I don't remember what, they might have been tied last week, Jerome and Bird. Tough week. You look at it overall, even if you look at the detail results. Can everyone look at these or just me? But you see a lot of red where a lot of people missed their just key games up and down. So tougher week across the board. There were some big, so Survivor doozy week, if you will, probably. But Pete is up in first, taking on a lot of people still here, definitely doing well. What else we got going on? I was looking at the records, actually. And if you look down here, power rankings, we need to talk about power rankings soon on here. If you look at the franchise records, all of this stuff here, as far as high points, links back all the way, all the years. Like I'm looking here, 2012, 2013. So all this stuff is up to date. The player records, though, is only this year and last year. And so far, there really hasn't been anyone from this year worth mentioning. But I might go get the history, go back a couple. I don't know why that doesn't link. Figure out what the issue is. That way it's all up there. Or I might make a message board post so that's the way we know what the player records are. But yeah, let's talk it. Let's just jump into last week's games. What you want to? I don't think there's really anything else. I got a couple numbers. Pete did point out that we have 3 4-0 teams this year. Good starts, obviously, for 3 of us. This has never happened. He kind of brought it up and said to go mention it, but I went and looked. We've never had 3 4-0 teams at this point in the year. So pretty impressive to Pete, Rupp, and Seward, the way they've started out. We've had 2 4-0 teams, two other times in 2015 and 2018. In 2018 was the only time we've had 2 5-0 teams. So this is the first year potentially we could have 3 5-0 teams. I kind of did some looking into some numbers, and maybe next week I might have some numbers for best start ever, kind of in the history of the EDL. If one of these 3 teams can go 5-0, they kind of need to do that. So if they go 5-0, we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll do it, and maybe I won't. You'll have to check back next week and find out if we get that done. But let's take a look. We're gonna start with the bottom. We actually had 4 teams go 0-2, 4 teams go 1-1, and then 4 teams go 2-0. We're gonna start with the 0-2 teams, DZ, and take a look at their matchups. You have Pay Dirt and Joe Dirts for each one of them, right?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna start with Casey. Did accidentally put the jinx on him last week. Said the only owner did not get swept in the double headers thus far, and here he goes 0-2 this week. He put up 197 points, had a matchup against myself and Seward. Let's just get down. I'm going to go this way. Below 200. Oh, one more side note I was going to say. I kind of mentioned this. Sorry. Kind of mentioned this in the thing. 7 teams out of the 12 finished within 22 points of each other. A lot of close matchups. Brought that up in the little message board, but we'll get into the more details there. Casey, neither of his matchups really close. Put up below 200 points. Let's start with his Joe Dirt, DZ.
Well, Joe Dirt in this situation is kind of like, I don't know, it didn't really matter, but it was peculiar, so I wanted to bring it up on the show. He didn't start Darren Waller. I know Darren Waller was somewhat of a game-time decision, but he was declared active in this game, and he went with Drew Sample over Darren Waller. You remember the week before, Darren Waller put up 28.5 points on Monday Night Football. Looked fucking fantastic. He only put 2.9 up, but just like something I wanted to bring up. I didn't see a lot of guys I could really put on this list, and I just thought it was weird that Darren Waller didn't make the starting lineup for a doubleheader week.
I completely agree. Darren Waller is one of the best tight ends in the league. Who was his pay dirt? Who did you like off his roster?
Hey, someone that you like, Nate, you're a truther of, Tyler Boyd. No touchdowns in this one and still put up 22.5, 10 catches, 125. Doing well with Joe Burrow. Tyler Boyd's a good player.
He is a good player. Tough break for Casey again this week. I don't think either of his matchups he's winning like 40 points of. Let's move on to another 0-2 team. Dan, I have you next on the list. I believe you were 1 point at 177. You matched up against Robbie and you matched up against Tito. Who is your Joe Dirt?
Okay, I went with Russell Gage. He was someone that was off to a good start for me, free agent, someone I kind of needed to produce. He only got 4.6 in this one, 2 catches, 26 yards. So that was a little let me down on that. I need all the points I could get, and he just didn't get it done for me on Sunday.
Who did get it done for you?
Okay, as the inventor of Pay Dirt, Joe Dirt, I decided that it would be a disgrace for my team to have a Pay Dirt going forward. So we're going to go with 2 Joe Dirts from here on out. And we're going to go with Evan Ingram. 5.2 points. This is a guy I love. I don't think it's a secret. I love this kid. The whole New York offense New York Giant offense is looking pretty trash right now. But Nate Dogg, like 20 targets to 3 weeks, and he's only 25th in tight ends overall. It's hurting my heart. It's hurting my soul. He's got the other Joe Dirt for my team.
That's funny that you go with two Joe Dirts. I like that. Let's go on to our next one. I have Jerome on the list. I know his matchups were a little better. Jerome actually put up a good week. I know I went against Jerome 224. So Jerome took 2 L's, but it put up 224 to my 232. That's a 8-point loss. And let's see if we can't find the other one. Almost similar. We have a 14-point loss to Seward. So he drew myself and Seward, put up 224, which is pretty good. Let's go with his pay dirt. He put up a solid day.
Jerome's taking a lot of flack for this guy, and man, it's got to make him smile. Darrell Henderson had a great game here, 23 points, 20 carries in this one, 114 yards and a rushing touchdown. You got to love that if you're Jerome. I mean, you don't expect much from him. He busted out last year. Malcolm Brown took a big role this season, and Darrell Henderson looked good in this one. So
I agree. Darrell Henderson has been a little bit of a surprise. Let's look at his Joe Dirt.
Now, again, I'm just looking like a complete idiot this year. Personally, like Joe Mixon's been a guy I've been a truther of for a while. Me and you went rounds about him. 11.9 this one. Nate, you've been talking a lot, and Joe Mixon's doing nothing to help shut you up. So I guess I'm just gonna take Smokey's approach. You know, while Joe Mixon's doing bad, I'll be quiet. But when he starts balling again, I'll be talking again.
That makes sense. Perfect sense. Let's go to our other team. Birdman, one of your picks to click in the preseason. We actually had him on the show. We need to get another guest on here pretty quick, I think.
We do.
But Birdman 0-2. He was put up 215. Had somewhat of a close one with Edwards. I know he thought he was good. I think he thought he had a good chance in that one, the Monday Night Magic. And then the other one with Pete. Pete, I believe, was high point. So Pete put up 274. We'll get to that. But he did have a close one within 13 of Edwards, but didn't get it done. 215.8 for Bird's team. Let's start with his Joe Dirt.
Yeah, Joe Dirt's Leonard Fournette. I think this is going to be a little bit of a headache. 7 carries, 15 yards, 2 catches, 7 yards. Didn't do much in this game. The Bucs are kind of rolling, and he wasn't really part of it in this one. It's kind of disheartening if you're Bird, you know, giving up what you gave up. The problems you do have at the injuries you have at receiver, the problems you had going in at running back. You need this guy to step up. Chris Carson's now going to miss a game or two. So it's just a yikes moment for him for this one.
I'm with you. What's his pay dirt? Same as it's been every week?
His pay dirt is pretty fucking obvious. It's the pay dirt of the whole league right now. It's Russell Wilson. 47.4, 5 touchdowns, 215 yards. No one else scored over 18, Nate, so I had no choice but to give Russ, the award.
Russ's low points on the year is 39.5. That's insane. Russ is definitely 14 touchdowns to 1 interception in 3 weeks. Pretty wild. Russell Wilson's playing some good ball. That's a good person to have on your roster right about meow. Let's look at the 1-1 teams. I haven't touched my 1-1.
Nate, you're gonna have to filibuster for a second. I'll be right back.
Oh, great. Pay dirt, Joe dirt. All right, we're gonna go to the 1-1 teams. Start with Matt. Matt with 1-1. Let me find too much. Went up against Rupp. Rupp had a good week, 260. So he did come with about 32. I believe his other matchup was. Oh, yep. This is the one. This is the one. 0.3. Matt and Edwards, Monday night. We were looking for a stat correction on this. I know I can. What's new? Updated the 24th. Man, stat corrections have not gone in yet. Last week they went in Thursday night at fucking 8:50. That's horrible. No, that's Strange Place. Fuck, I'm tripping. Stat changes. Wednesday, 9 p.m. That's the 23rd, though. Yeah, stat changes have not come in yet. I don't know when they're going to be. All right, Wednesday at 9. Let me look at the week before.
All right, sorry about that, Nate.
You're good. I'm ended up. Oh, okay, so the week before was 11:12 p.m. So it's 10:04 from the time I am recording this right now with DZ. We're looking at Matt's. Matt got beat down by Rupp, but we're looking at his next matchup, which was against Edwards, and they're separated by 0.3. Last week's stat corrections haven't gone through yet. They're not in. We could still have some potential craziness. So last week's went through at 9 p.m. and then I don't know if you heard me, but the week before that went at 11:12. So we're like right in the middle of those two areas. It'd be crazy if we saw a change here. As of right now, we have Matt going 1-1. Let's look at his team. You're back for Pay Dirts and Joe Dirts. Let's go with Pay Dirts.
Let's do it. You want to pay dirt?
Pay Dirt for Matt.
Similar to Russell Wilson, man. Like, this guy's been absolutely balling out. Josh Allen, 39.6 in this one. 311 yards, getting done through the air, Nate. Not necessarily on the ground. 4 rushing, or he had 4 touchdowns. He did have a rushing touchdown. 116 points through 3 weeks. Man, Josh Allen's been impressive so far.
He has been good. 34.5 is his low on the year. Give me his Joe Dirt.
Julian Edelman. I mean, off to a pretty good start with Cam Newton, surprisingly in my eyes. 13 catches through 2 weeks, and this one he only caught 2 for 23. Didn't make much noise, only 4.4 for Matt.
Yeah, Edelman hasn't been bad. Let me look. All right, give me. So we're on to our next one. All right, I went Pay Dirt and Joe Dirt. Matt going 1-1. We might as go with Edwards next because that's fucking one of them. That's one of his L's. He could very easily be 2-0 here by the end of this thing's over. Edwards getting a close loss, a 0.3 loss to Matt, and then his W was, where is it, 228, somewhere up here. Oh, over Bird. We just talked about it a second ago. Give me Edwards Pay Dirt.
Edwards Pay Dirt. James Conner has made a comeback, 28.5 in this one. Over 100 yards rushing, Nate, 4 catches, 40 yards, and that's back-to-back 20-point games. Edwards desperately needed this production from someone in his running back core. We saw last week he got both his running backs that he actually – I guess he didn't start James Conner last week because both his running backs got Joe Dirt last week, and now Tariq Cohen's out for the year, so he needs James Conner to continue with his production there.
Well, who's his Joe Dirt?
1 point, Nate. 1 point from Larry Fitz. It's sad, bro. It's, you're watching like, a dude that just dominated throughout, most of our fantasy football lives here, and he's just not the same anymore. He's just hanging on. He's just chilling. 12 for 84 for the season, Nate. It's time for Fitz to hang it up, I think.
37. Holy smokes, 37 years old. Fitz, you can't do that to Fitzy. Come on, not to Fitzy. Let's look at who's the other 1-on-1. Tito. Tito's matchups. Where's he at? 246. He also ran into Pete with the high points. You're gonna lose if you play against high points. 246 is a very, very good score, especially to get an L. That is a tough break because the other one was to you. Tito had high points and low points, so it didn't really matter what he did this week. But who was his Pay Dirt?
Pay Dirt was Allen Robinson, and I think we know why Allen Robinson had a breakout game. 28.3 points in this one, 10 catches, 123 yards, and a touchdown. In his first 2 games, he had 8 targets for 8 catches. In this one, he had 10 catches along with 13 targets. I think Nick Foles was a big plus for the Allen Robinson owners in all of fantasy.
Allen Robinson, definitely. He was asked to be traded like the other day, right? I think probably not anymore. Who was his Joe Dirt?
It was Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's been balling out so far this year. That trade that he made, obviously for the long term, is gonna He was involved in the Patrick Mahomes trade with Pete. Obviously, in the long term, this was going to benefit Pete no matter what because Mahomes is going to be a god for years to come. But Matt Ryan was balling out. He only put 13.1 in this one with only one touchdown, 238 yards. Nate, fun fact, he was 6 points ahead of Mahomes going into this week. He is now 30 points behind him at the end of the week.
Mahomes had a good week. High points. Mahomes was high points for week 3. Look at our next one. We got Robbie. Robbie wanted Monday night pretty bad, but Rupp had a good Monday night. That was his loss. Where is Robbie? Robbie went against you, low points. So his division game, Robbie 241. I mean, it's hard. Like, sucks to lose putting up 241. Most weeks, you win doing that kind of stuff. Win against you, got the W. Did lose to Rupp, who was second, 260. Let's talk about Robbie's team and his pay dirt.
Okay, there's two obvious choices here. There's Tyler Lockett, absolutely balled out in this one, 37 points. Derrick Henry, who I bashed a little bit last week, had 32.2 bounce back game for him. But I went with Mike Davis. I mean, Robbie continues to go back to the well and putting big money up on these guys in free agency, and finally it paid off. Really good game for Mike Davis. He had 13 carries, 46 yards, 8 catches, 45 yards, and a receiving touchdown. Nate, my question is to you. Mike Davis has 16 catches in 2 weeks. So my question to you is C-Mac overrated?
I don't think overrated is a good word, but definitely their system features the running back. They didn't change anything. They didn't lose. They just said, hey, we can't afford to do something different.
This is who we are.
You're going to have to be the best C-Mac you can be, Mike Davis, and he's done a good job. Another person I wanted to bring up, did he start him? Oh, he's on his bench, huh? Aldon Smith. I was going through doing random shit. He went and picked up Aldon Smith, who I believe is leading. He's on the bench, 26.9. But you talk about going to the well, picking up Mike Davis. He went and got Aldon Smith too. Robbie's adding talent off free agency when everybody else could be doing the same shit. So, yeah, kudos to Rob. Did we do his dirt yet? Who's his dirt?
Well, talking about killing it, this guy did not kill it on Monday Night Football. Complete letdown for Robbie here. Probably his favorite player, I'm guessing. But Lamar only put up 17.1. That's not good enough. That's not going to cut it when you need those points. 97 passing yards, Nate, in this one. We all kind of were watching the game, talking a lot in the chat. He did not look good in this one. But there's going to be better days ahead for Lamar. But damn, this one's got to hurt. You're so pumped up to watch Monday Night Football, and this is what the effort you get from your star player.
Tough from Lamar. It's crazy. It's still like 18 points though on a bad day, but tough overall for Lamar.
17.
Let's go to the 2-0 teams. There's 4 of us. We'll start with mine. I had a close, so I only put up 232. So I put up less than Tito, less than Robbie, but I got a little bit of luck on my side. I will take every bit of luck I can get. Had a close one with Jerome, only beat him by 8 as we talked about earlier, and then Casey failed to put up 200, so I got a 35-point win there. But 232.6, Steezy, hit me with my pay dirt.
We talked a lot about Calvin Ridley the first 2 weeks, which was the trade that me and you made in the offseason. He was kind of the side piece. He wasn't the main piece. You finally got the signature game from the main piece in the trade right there. Dalvin Cook, 22 for 181, Nate, in this one. A touchdown, 30.3 points. You got to love to see that. Dalvin Cook's probably his first signature game for you on your team.
Yeah, definitely a good one. I needed it. Needed all of it. Who is my Joe Dirt?
Okay, not entirely this guy's fault, but Nate, you had a pretty good weekend and not a lot of options for here, but Deontay Johnson, he did get knocked out of this game, but he didn't even have a catch, and he had 1 carry for 9 yards, only 1.9 for you. Little disheartening, maybe not fair that he got the Joe Dirt, but it's also not fair that I'm 0-33 in all play.
Yeah, that's true. You know who's pissing me off? We talked about my best player from last year, Zane. My boy Zane Gonzalez, bitch about a kicker, but he's missed an extra point this week, 2 field goals already. Come on. He's supposed to be my guy. The other 2-0 team, the 3-4-0 teams. Let's start with Seward, the center of Never Enough. What did he put up this week? He got a win, 238.2. Again, lower than Robbie's, lower than Tito's, but that doesn't matter because that's not who he played. He played Jerome, who put up 222.4, and he also played Casey. So did me and Seward have the same? No, I couldn't have played Casey. I'm tripping. I played Jerome and somebody else. I did, Jerome and Casey. And Seward played Jerome and Casey. Kind of weird. All right, anyways. Seward, who is this pay dirt? Not hard to find him.
I'm kind of gonna go off just a tad here. Seward straight wanted to throw this guy under the bus because he wanted a new fucking contract, which is ridiculous. Let these kids get fucking their money, dude. Don't be a hater. But anyways, Alvin Kamara, man, 45.9. Nate, back-to-back 40-point games, 19 carries in those 2 games total. He's the number 1 running back and it's not even close, particularly it's by 23 points over Seward's other running back, Aaron Jones. But listen, this is the way Alvin Kamara is meant to be used right here. We want to see the carries. There needs to be carries. He needs to be more than like a Darren Sproles, but he needs to get the ball out of the backfield. He needs to get the ball out of the backfield a lot. He had 139 yards on 13 catches day in this Sunday night game against the Packers. This guy's a fucking really good player, and I think he was banged up last year, so he took a little bit of heat. But I think he's all the way back here. And wow, I bet you Seward ain't talking about fucking trading him now, is he? I bet you ain't trying to drop him now because of some fucking contract dispute.
Definitely not. Who is his Joe Dirt?
His whole wide receiver crew, Nate. And I'll tell you what, this is this weird little line by his receiving core. They had 14 catches combined, 129 yards combined between 5 receivers, and was bailed out by touchdowns. The weirdest stat line you're ever going to see from a superstar, especially, I don't want to say superstar, but star receiver, Mike Evans. He had 2 catches, Nate, for 2 yards in this one for 2 touchdowns. I don't even know how to explain that. It was like a decoy most of the game. And what even makes it more interesting, 2 catches, 2 yards, 2 touchdowns with the quarterback who's the king of the quarterback's team. So, interesting.
Definitely interesting. He did have a couple defensive players show up. You've been giving him a dad time for defense. They did well. Let's move on to Rupp, who was second in high points this week. Got the win over Robbie. He put up 260, and he also got the win over Matt. Give me his pay dirts.
Pay dirt, I got there was a lot of guys to pick from here, but I was really, really, really impressed with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and this is why. This guy is still no touchdowns in this game, and he needed this performance from Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Helaire. On Monday Night Football.
Emphasize
and man,
that.
The guy on Monday Night Football was just all over it, man. But 20 carries, 64 yards, nothing. This guy is not like a super talented running back, but the way he fits that Chiefs offense is so beautiful. Like, this guy is going to be a top 5 fantasy player for many, 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 many years. Ruff's got a good one right here in CEH.
I think so too. Give me his Joe Dirt.
Guy, this might be kind of rough, but fuck it. I don't care. I'm going with Josh Jacobs. The guy's trending down a little bit. Scored 40 points in week 1, 40.9 to be exact. Only 12.5 in this one. 16 carries, 71, not bad, but he lost the fumble. Josh Jacobs has been trending down ever since week 1.
You're like, I'm going to go bold, but fuck it. Josh Jacobs. I like it. Who we got our last one, high points last week, 274.6. Pete with big wins, needed it because Tito had a good one, 246. What was his other matchup? 215 against a hobbled Birdman. Let's take a look at Pete's team. Who was his pay dirt?
Hats off to Pete, man. What a great fucking start. I know Devontae and Julio were out, but dude, putting Justin Jefferson into this game, uh, pretty amazing, Nate. I was looking at. Let me try to find it here. Like it wasn't like he had like an indicator this guy was gonna pop off. Like he had 4.6 in week 1, 7.4 in week 2. Like I mean I don't know exactly like what it was coming down to as his options on offense. You know, he could have went linebacker heavy or whatever, but he went with Justin Jefferson, the guy that he told me personally that he fucking loved in the draft, and he traded up to grab. And man, what a monster game here! 7 catches for 175 yards and a touchdown. Great start for Pete. Great start. Great game for Justin Jefferson.
Completely agreed. Also had Patrick Mahomes as the high points for the week. Another good option. But hey, that Justin Jefferson call was phenomenal.
Yeah, I could have easily went. Obviously, I could have easily went Pat Mahomes. But
I like it when you switch it up.
I definitely want to mention. Like, yeah, when there's like a guy that made a we kind of expect this shit from Patrick Mahomes. Maybe not 48.4, but the essence of the pay dirt is like to put up a guy that played above and beyond his capabilities.
I like it. Give me his Joe Dirt.
I think even in the chat, Seward made a big deal about it. Like Mark Ingram, like what? Like he was acting like Pete like bent Matt over or something. I don't really know. Remember the context, but Mark Ingram did nothing. Like 7 carries, 30 yards, and that was it. I know Baltimore's offense struggled in this one, but J.K. Dobbins doubled them up. So I really don't think. I mean, I feel like that trade was much to do about nothing. It was a good trade for Pete because he needs the running back help getting just killed with injuries. But like Mark Ingram is not special. He's not special anymore. So 4.4, that's his Joe Dirt in this one.
I like it. That was all of our guys, right? We got them all. I believe that's 12. There's a lot of games to talk about, or a lot of things worth mentioning. Good work, DZ. Let's again the last week before bye weeks. I'm trying to find where previews. Yep. Previews. Let's do it. Let's make some picks. We got Rupp against Edwards. We'll see if these 4 or 3 teams can get to 5-0. I'm gonna go Rupp here. I'm gonna think he does. Rupp's team is looking good right now.
Yeah, man. Rupp's a smart dude, man. Fuck, I've been saying that for years. Fuck, BK Metcalf. Man, there's so many talented young players. Clyde Edwards, Elair. Even Josh Jacobs, who I bashed, is a good player. DJ Moore. Rupp's got this one.
Yeah, Rupp looks good. Moving on to the next game, we got Tito and Birdman. This one, we know how the projections go, but they have them projected to be 2 points. Potentially a close game here, as we saw Birdman's pretty hobbled. He's probably going to need Russ to put up 45 again. I'm gonna go Tito. But there's a world where 70-30 Tito for me. 65-35.
Fuck, man. I got to go Tito. Man, I've been on the Bird train all year, but man, he's really catching some unlucky shit here. A lot of people banged up. I don't know. I don't really know the status of Michael Thomas and Kenny Galladay and A.J. Brown, all those guys. If they play, he's got a better shot than I'm going to give him, but I'm going to go Tito as well.
All right, let's go Robbie and Casey. Does Casey coming off the doubleheader bye week winless? Does he get this one done? Again, the projections for this one are within 2 points. This has a potential to be a real close game. Could go either way. What you think?
I think Lamar's going to bounce back. And I think Robbie hitting the wire again. Ward in the lineup. I like Robbie in this one.
I got to give Robbie some credit. I think this would be like I'll be this one's closer 60-40 Robbie, whatever. I kind of like Casey in this matchup. But I give Robbie some credit. He's fucking working right now, so it's bound to pay off. So I'm gonna go Robbie with you as well. You and Seward. Why is Seward only averaged or supposed to get 208? But beat Seward one time, DZ. Go get him. Go get him. With Big Ben. Go get him with Big Ben.
Am I going to have Big Ben?
I don't know. Oh, probably not. You have other guys. All right, we got our next one. Myself and Matt. Does that mean Rupp and Pete? No. All right. Do we already do that? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Myself and Matt. I'm gonna take me. I feel like my team's playing well. Matt's definitely playing well too. But hopefully I can get this one done.
Yeah, man, I need Matt to just settle down a little bit, dude. I got his first round pick, so take care of business, thing. I got you.
I'd talk about waiver wire pickups. I'm not sure if he started him last week. I can't remember, but Jeffrey Wilson, I believe, had a good game for the 49ers last week. Someone Matt picked up.
No, he definitely 12 carries for 15 yards. He definitely did. He's a touchdown.
Didn't he have a touchdown?
He's a very dependent touchdown guy. Yeah, he's their goal line. He's going to be their goal line back. He did catch. He had 2 touchdowns, Nate, in this one. 2 touchdowns and 24 points. Smells a little bit like Peyton Barber, but I don't know. Who am I to say?
Let's hope he has a Peyton Barber game against me. I'll go with my team. Next game, we got Jerome versus Pete. 0-4 versus 4-0. I'm going 4-0 here.
Yeah.
So we both picked Pete and Chris. Both got.
We disagree?
No, we're not. I'm just talking. Pete and Chris. I'm saying that they're both 2 4-0 teams. Got 2 0-4 teams. So technically, easy roads. The one 4-0 team that's got the toughest road would be Rupp and Edwards. Maybe the game of the week. See if Edwards can't pull an upset. But that's what we got. That's our show this week. See you next week. Good luck to the 3 4-0 teams and everybody else getting a W. EDL, realest one ever. Salute.